What's going on YouTube? It's your boy Anime Outlaw and I'm back with another video, and today I'm gonna watch the 15 things you missed in Attack on Titan, the final season. Kinda dumb how they're making the season 4 part 3. Doesn't really make a lot of sense, it's just made it into a movie. But it's okay, sorry, the manga, so I know what happens. I'm not gonna be an asshole and spoil it. So yeah. Let me get to the video.
So, the final season of Attack on Titan is finally here. Well, part of it anyway. It was announced that there will actually be a third part next year, and probably a movie too. But anyway, parts 1 and 2 of Season 4 have been released, and we thought we'd take a deep dive into them as we go hunting for some Easter eggs, symbolism, and other pieces of trivia. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I probably missed a bunch, but like the Fleet of Warships in the Dawn of Humanity episode, I gave it my best shot. Now, you likely caught this one, but one of the best pieces of foreshadowing in the show comes early on in Season 4, as it alludes to the rumbling and the dark path that Eren will go down. In Season 4, Episode 5, Willy Tybur gives a speech declaring war and labels Eren as a great danger to the world, one that would bring about the rumbling and destroy life on Earth. Now, at the time, I felt like this was something that could never happen, but Eren soon proves us right as he goes into Titan mode and kills Willy. But still, even then, it was hard to imagine him ever initiating the rumbling. As we know now, that was all setting up the finale for Part 2, where Eren does indeed initiate the rumbling and unleashes utter chaos. Now, this particular entry is to do with the opening sequence, but it also does relate to the show in general. In the opening sequence, there are multiple shots of birds, with one of the most notable being when a flock of white birds fly across the screen in front of Eren, while in another shot we see that the birds are soaring beside him as he traverses the top of the wall. Now, bird imagery has been rife throughout the anime and the manga, with the Scout Regiment even having wings on their insignia, and birds are especially connected with Eren, with a view of birds being one of the first things we see in the anime. In fact, birds frequently appear throughout the series whenever Eren or other characters yearn to travel beyond the edges of their known world. The common consensus is that birds represent freedom, something which Eren values for himself and those around him, and something that he is willing to do absolutely anything for, even if it leads to him becoming the villain. Now, this can also be seen as a piece of foreshadowing for a particularly famous moment involving a bird in the final chapter of the manga, but as revealing that would be a massive spoiler, I'm gonna stop right there. Keeping on with the opening, Season 4 shook up the musical intro with a new heavy metal style packed full of foreshadowing lyrics. The lyrics reference the cataclysmic rumbling and the real enemy, which is likely a nod to Commander Erwin's line to Eren early on. Now, judging by the lyrics, the song is from Eren's point of view, with the mix of singing likely being a reference to Eren's internal conflict as he sets down the path of bringing an end to the torment of his people and his quest to bring freedom to the suffering people of Paradise. Now, out of all the episodes in Part 2, Episode 78 is particularly heavy with Easter eggs and other references to the show's past, which, like the opening song, is predominantly told from Eren's point of view. Many of the images shown are glimpses of people like Armin, Mikasa, Levi, and Reiner that could only be from Eren's point of view. But, most importantly, is the image shown of Historia that hadn't appeared beforehand in the series, as well as an image of a young boy. The image of Historia is from when she's asking Eren about his thoughts on her having a child, while the boy is Ramsey, an immigrant whom Eren vented his regrets about the rumbling to when he first came to Marley. Continuing on with the past, it's not just Eren's history that's seen in detail in Episode 78, with there also being scenes of Grisha Jaeger's past, as of course, Grisha also possessed the Attack Titan. An image of Grisha's dead sister Faye briefly appears on screen, as well as his key and the time that he went to the Reese family to ask.
So, I don't know. Is it like... Okay. So, Grisha, yeah, he could like see Eren and stuff in it. So, was it like he was looking into Eren's future memories of him, of Eren looking at him. Or was Eren, I don't even know, man. Okay, let me play it again. Let me stop playing it.
Ask for their help against the Titans. And going back to the opening again, Mikasa's scarf is probably one of the most famous pieces of clothing accessories in anime history, and when you think of Mikasa, you likely think of her scarf as well. In fact, in the Season 2 opening, while the Scout Regiment are gearing up, there's a shot of Mikasa putting her scarf on. However, in the Season 4 opening, she's seen taking it off. Now, this can be interpreted in many ways, one of which being that they're coming to the end of their journey, as well as Mikasa seemingly losing trust with those that she has been on this long journey with, and wanting to associate less with her past self, especially as the scarf is so connected with Eren. In the Attack on Titan fandom, it's believed that the scarf symbolizes Eren and Mikasa's relationship, or I should say the relationship they used to have. But hey, that could be looking too deep into it. Before we move on from the scarf topic, both Attack on Titan Season 4, Episode 19 and Chapter 120 start with an image of a young Mikasa and her scarf. Now, what makes this interesting, though, is that while it's not fully clear in the anime, it looks like the scarf is black, like it is in the manga. The reason for the red scarf in the anime is that it symbolizes the red string of fate that connects Eren and Mikasa. So why would it be black in this scene exactly? Well, one theory suggests that there are many alternate timelines in Attack on Titan, and perhaps in one of these timelines, Mikasa Ackerman's scarf is actually black and not red. Back to the OP once again. It starts off by showing actual events from the Rumbling, which as mentioned is the world-ending event that Eren and Zeke want to set into motion. The sequence shows hundreds of colossal titans bursting through the walls, transforming into an unbeatable moving wall of destruction that crushes and annihilates everything below them, while the lyrics state the rumbling is coming for you. This ends up mirroring the final sequence of Part 2, which shows Eren's wall titans decimating ships and artillery as they reach Marley's shores, which well and truly sets the rumbling into motion. The anime makes it much more apparent that alternate versions of Mikasa and Armin are being shown.
Oh, that's hard.
Of course, one of the most interesting parts of Attack on Titan is Ymir and what her and her actions symbolize, such as the detail of the devil giving Ymir the apple image, but this whole time it was the other way around, where it's actually Ymir giving the apple, her power, to the evil king, the devil. Now, Ymir has many links to Norse mythology, with her sharing the name with the ancestor of all giants. Of course, the apple also has significance in Christianity as well, where the apple is the symbol of the fall of man, parallels of which can be drawn with the story of Attack on Titan. Now back to the OP again. The final shot we see in the sequence is that of a dead butterfly, which had been crushed by a footprint and left with its wing cut off. But what exactly does this mean? In Japanese culture, and many other cultures, butterflies are symbolic of the cycle of life, death, and renewal, which when you think about it works thematically with the show and Eren's plan and fate. It's also very similar to Walter White's quote on chemistry and how it's about to
Yes, science!
growth, then decay, then transformation. With Hajime Isayama being a self-proclaimed fan of Breaking Bad,
Yes,
we
sir.
wouldn't
Breaking
be
Bad, man.
surprised if
Come
this
on.
was a subtle nod to this quote from the show.
Breaking
Other
Bad's too
interpretations
long.
are that the broken wings suggest broken freedom, while others say it could be the death of innocence. But again, it's up for debate. Okay, this one is technically a Season 1 Easter egg, but I was struggling to make 15, and there's only so much I could talk about butterflies. While we were left relatively in the dark in Season 1 about the secrets of Marley and the ongoing war, it was subtly referenced in the very first episode. As broken down by Reddit user Ethan075, secretly hidden in the title card is not only the nation of Marley, but also the wall that the Marleyans would use to unleash Titans upon the devils of Paradise. Now, back to the Breaking Bad references. As we mentioned, Hajime Isayama is a big fan of the show, with him admitting that Falco was initially based off of Jesse Pinkman, and Saul Goodman also makes a cameo in the manga. But, as noticed by one eagle-eyed user on Reddit, Saul Goodman also managed to make a cameo in Attack on Titan just in time for the final season of Better Call Saul.
I can't wait for Better Call Saul. It's gonna be hard as well.
About to talk about now. Yep, that's right, I'm back on the OP again, which ends with Eren, Mikasa, and Armin running up the flowery hill together in their hometown. As they run, they transition from benign young children into teenagers, until Eren finally reaches the tree and turns around to see his friends are no longer with him. This all represents the broken friendship between the main trio as they all embarked on their separate paths, while reminding us of the importance of the tree. But probably the oddest Easter egg scene in the show is a flash of Reiner at a sauna, which is a reference to a magazine cover that featured all of the male characters in the show at a bathhouse. If we really want to look too deep into it, the cover could be a reference to Hajime Isayama saying that he'd like to open a sauna one day. In terms of narrative, symbolism, and everything else, it'd mean nothing, unless I'm missing something, but it would be pretty funny if it's true.
Yeah, that's the end of the video. Like and subscribe. Yeah. Like and subscribe. It's been your anime. It's been your boy Anime Outlaw. And I'm out. Shit, why not do that?
Ha 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 ha!